In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Dear friends and fellows in Pakistan and abroad, use all the systems right. This is going to be the topic of today's discussion, today's talk. We have been gifted with so many of the things by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These things are, we are supposed to use all of these things, all of these systems right. We are supposed to do that. And we have been ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have been trained, we have been instructed by the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Use all of your systems right. If we do that, obviously we are going to become a winner and a successful person. As for this winning and successful person is concerned, huge amount of research has been conducted in this regard, and it is still being conducted, and it will be the topic of research and discussion for a longer period of time, forever, forever, forever. And a human being is actually devising ways and means to live a better life. That's all fine. That's all fine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us, has instructed us, to explore the world and to explore all what they can. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted us with the brain. And the brain, the kind of brain we have got, it is only with the humans. And no other creature have been given and gifted with a mind, with a brain like this one. So, brain is an organ of our self, and brain is not the only organ. Rather, there are plenty and plenty of organs Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has gifted us, and each one is, playing a very important role in our survival, in our existence. And brain, obviously, it is the most important, organ. But now the new research says that the brain is just a slave, and not the master, not the master. The master is our emotional self. It is our emotional self, which is the master, which is the master of ourself, and our emotional self gives instructions, controls all the system indirectly through our brain. The brain is in direct control of our emotional self. The example is that some of the people, despite being very educated, despite being very learned person, they commit crimes. They commit crime despite knowing that how wrong it is and the kind of effects it is going to have upon their life as well as the lives of certain other people, even their loved ones. Why they do that? Because of the emotional influence, control. So it is actually the emotions which controls everything. It is the emotions which controls everything indirectly through our mind, through our brain. So we need to be very careful and cautious as far our emotional self is concerned. We need to be very careful. We need to be very cautious about it because this is a kind of double-edged sword. The brain is a double-edged sword. The our emotions are a double-edged sword as well. Why? Because it is the emotions which actually take us toward the righteous destination, and to somehow influence us, motivate us, persuade us, you know, to do the right thing and to make even the sacrifices for the right things. And also, it is the emotional self. If it is not in a good shape, it is if it has not been trained, and then what does happen? It what does happen is that it commits crimes. It uses the brain, and the brain controls the whole of the remaining system, and the crimes are committed also because of the emotional deterioration, because of the emotional astray. So misguided emotions, we need to control our emotions, and that is the only way we will be able to control ourselves well properly, and look upon our systems, our mind, our all and each and every organ of the body. Each and every organ of the body is playing a very important role is playing a very important role indeed. And then it must be used in a proper manner. It must be taken care of. Take care of an exam. I mean, take the example of a vehicle. Take the example of the vehicle. If at all, the vehicle is not being taken care of properly, if it is being overloaded, if it is not being given rest, certain amount of rest, if it is overused or overloaded, if it is, certain other instructions, are not, not observed and violated upon, if the owner's manual has been totally neglected, and things are done, as the owner wishes, what is going to happen? This vehicle is going to be, rotten very soon. The wear and tear will be very fast, at a very faster pace, and the vehicle will never be able to live and to work for a longer period of time. And because of the abusive abusive way of using it, so for that reason, we don't need to be abusive with we ourselves. We don't need to be abusive with we ourselves. Rather, we need to take care of we ourselves. We need to use it very carefully, very cautiously, very sensibly, and according to the owner's manual. And as for the human being is concerned, we do have an owner manual, and that owner manual is there, in the shape of divine guidance, guidance, and revealed books, revealed books of the books which have been revealed to the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the kind of revealed book we do have today, it is Quran, revealed on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And then there is a kind of practical demonstration done by the prophets, by last Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We need to take care of all these things if at all we want to live better, if at all we want to be good with we ourselves, if at all we want to be good with the people around us, with the rest of the humanity, and if at all we want to live, if at all we do want to, we do want a kind of assurance that the life hereafter will also be good one, so this is how we need to do. We need to take all the systems right. We need to use all the systems right, and we need to be very cautious, very careful, and very cautious about the two very basic systems. The first and the single most important, resource we do have is that of our emotions. Emotions are intangible, somewhat intangible, but as for the brain is concerned, we can see the brain of the humans, we can see the brain of the rest of the animals, and the kettle brain is used, consumed as a food as well, as a kind of favorite food for some of the people. So we do have the brain, and the brain is visible, and there is somewhere mind. We do have a system, mind and brain. So then there is an emotional self, and it is the emotional self which is actually which plays a decisive role. Our emotional self does play the decisive role, and in the way we are going to behave, in the way we are going to manage the life and the rest of the things as well. So we need to work, we need to work upon the two of these things. And most importantly, we need to work upon our emotional training. We need to work upon our emotional training. If at all we do succeed in training ourselves well, as far our emotions are concerned, the emotional training, inshallah, the rest of the life will become a good one, because everything else is controlled by our emotions and not anything else at all. As for the mind is concerned, as I earlier said, that the mind plays a kind of role as a subordinate role. Our mind is subordinate of our emotion. We need to control our emotions first. If at all the emotions comes under our control, if at all we do succeed in training our emotion, what is going to happen then? Inshallah, everything else will come under our control, and every system will be used properly. Every system will be used properly through our emotions. Thank you. Jazakumullah khair.